Hello. Can y'all hear me okay out there? Cool. Awesome. All right, we're about to get started with the South Park panel. So, I'm the sound engineer if you can't tell, but I'm usually behind here, but why not? Well, let me welcome these lovely people up on stage. Go ahead and come on up. Oh, yeah, well, sorry, yeah, you're good. You're good. Cool. Awesome. Can I please welcome April Stewart, Kimberly Brooks, and Mona Marshall to the stage.
Where do you want to be, Mona?
The left-handed person will sit here.
Oh, that makes sense.
All right.
Alrighty.
Hey, hey. Hello. Welcome.
Did I work? Yeah.
There will be a test afterwards, and
Take notes.
I see some familiar faces out there. So,
Alrighty. Well, why don't we, I've already introduced y'all, but tell us some of the characters in South Park that y'all play.
okay, let's see. I play,
And how long have you been on the show?
been in the show apparently since 1999. And I do Mrs. Broflowski, I do Butter's mom, Tweek's mom, Red, and various other characters, but those are the main ones. So it's been a blast.
I'm Kimberly. I have been on the show since 2012.
Woo!
Or no, 2008.
Did you start when I started?
My first one was Michelle Obama, so it was when Obama
yeah.
was elected. So, yeah, and they were all in on it. John McCain, and it was a big grift. Remember that whole thing?
Yeah.
So that was my first show. And then, yeah, it's been a good run. And some of my favorite character is Classy. And Classy, she needs to come back around. I mean, she is classy after all. But she's in the game. If you guys played the game, she's kind of throughout that. And that was the craziest voiceover session I've ever had. Because they were just trying to literally write the most offensive, raunchy words possible. And I got to say them. I also do Craig's mom and Token's mom. I'm so bad. I do a lot of characters. I did Wendy Williams and Pam Bondi. So those were good. There's a lot. Look me up. You guys know. Okay. Sorry, you got your own. Thanks.
Hello, I'm April. I am Wendy and Mrs. Cartman, Sharon, Shelley, the principal Victoria, and the mayor, and then various others. I've been doing this show, I think since
2005.
2005 or 2004. This will be my 21st season, right?
The 2005, by the way, I got from
2000.
you.
Yeah,
Which is really hard because you're only 22.
But there's
so
a thing
you were
called
one.
difficult. I started
IMDb.
so
You can
young.
always look it up.
But yeah, I think I celebrated my 20th anniversary last year, so it'll be 21 this year. So yeah, it's very exciting. Okay.
You have to count 2000 as a year.
Huh?
You have to count 2000 as a year.
Yes, I do. Yes. All right. Well, there you go.
Alrighty. I know I definitely want to kick it out to Q&A because there's
Yeah.
a ton of fans, but I guess I got one question for me before I kick it out there. First of all, Mona's wearing the best hat, the dead Kenny hat.
I think I got that my first year working on this show.
Wow.
Yeah. It's old.
That's
It's
All right.
older than some of you, probably.
But
Oh, excuse me. Yes, it's not old. It's vintage.
But just, I assume, playing the roles for so long and seeing all that stuff, what would you guys say is y'all's favorite, because Kenny's death is a moment, but I would say favorite moment from one of your favorite characters you've gotten to voice over the years?
So many.
My most favorite moment was last season when I got to ream Netanyahu a new one. I loved every moment of that. And I love that South Park gave our country a voice.
That's really great. I'm kind of going to copy your answer because, I mean, South Park's amazing. You can turn on any episode at any time and you'll be laughing. Like, it doesn't matter. It's so cool that the show is very topical. And, you know, the way they do the show, we can obviously be talking about stuff that's happening right now, unlike most animated shows. So for me, the payoff for that has been all of the Trump stuff in these last 2 seasons and getting to play, like, just where they went with it. I was very proud of them, and I felt really good that I got to do my part, and that's my contribution. So right there with you. This season, the last 2 seasons have been really a big payoff. So yeah. Pam Bondi.
Absolutely. I would say I have 2. One of my favorites was when I kicked Cartman's ass in the breast cancer. Right? That was so wonderful. I just loved recording that session. That's probably one of my favorite episodes too. And then obviously last season was just so I don't say honored a lot because it sounds cliche, but honored to be a part of that show. And I remember I got a call from the producer right before the very first episode started, and she said, "We're giving everybody the opportunity to keep their name off the credits if you're afraid of, you know, what could happen, retaliation." And I said, "Are we going hard? Like, are we really going hard?" She's like, "Oh, April." And I said, "You know what? If this ship is going down, I'm going down with it. Let's keep my name on there."
Amen.
And I just loved what they did last year. It was so cathartic for people that we were able to do that. So last year was last season.
It's good.
I guess from there we'll go ahead and kick off Q&A. If you guys want to line up behind the microphone and ask any questions that you might have.
Hello, this is a 2-parter question. One, what's it like working with Matt and Trey? And for recording the show, do you guys like record together as groups or solo?
It's wonderful working with them. They're really down to earth guys. We ever since COVID, we usually record from home, so we're not seeing anybody anymore. So we don't record with anyone. Every once in a while, like if Randy and Sharon are having a lot of fights, and it really requires us being. I'll come in and I'll record with Trey for those scenes, but for the most part, we're by ourselves at home recording.
Yeah, it's, you know, you guys have obviously been on the show forever, but working with them is amazing. It's just kind of like what you'd expect. Back in the day, we would go into the studio. This is obviously BC, before COVID. So we would go in. I never recorded with anybody else. But what's interesting about this show is at least most of my characters, Trey has already recorded the voice of my character. So I'm going in because they're doing it for animation. Because they're doing all this stuff on the fly. They're rewriting the show and changing lines. So when I go in to record, either whether I was in the studio or at home, I'm just hearing Trey, and I'm kind of like putting my spin in the timing box of what Trey has given us. So that's a really cool way to work because it keeps the show consistent. It keeps, the timing, the movement, the way he wants it, the way he hears it in his head. So we record, but I've never recorded with anyone else.
No?
It's
rare.
It's very rare. So pretty much we just do it on our own. Mona?
Yeah, early on, when Butter's mom was planning on killing her son, I got to do that scene with Trey, and it was fabulous. And it does make a difference. If you're, like with April, where you're in a scene where you're arguing or you're having dialogue, it really, back and forth, it really does make a difference. But, the nature of how South Park is done even now is very different than any other kind of animation because everything is done basically in-house, even though we have the animators and the sync in the background living in different states. It all now is done within a 2-week turnaround, usually. And before COVID, it was done in a week turnaround. That's not, I mean, it's unheard of in any other kind of animation. So there's that kind of urgency. And whether we were in the studio or working on our own, you never felt pushed. You always felt like you had your time to do, you know, the very best thing with the characters that you were doing. And the interesting thing about, you know, because Trey does, for the animators, lays down the tracks. It's very interesting because as a writer, he can give us indications based on what's happening in that moment that you would not normally get. And then, you know, as Kimberly said, you riff it on your own. You have to make it work for your character. But I remember years ago I was doing Bebe's mom, and she was talking to her daughter, and it was, you know, a sensitive subject. And Trey's ability to be feminine was really wonderful. And I remember coming out of the booth and saying, "Do you have sisters?" He said, "Nope." So his ability as a writer comes through when he does the lines. And then, of course, they change. As the show grows in those 2 weeks, it changes. So that's why you may be called in to do a tweak here or do a tweak there to make it now work with everything else that's going on. I love it. I call it doing voiceover without a net.
Yeah.
It's unlike anything else I've ever done.
It's totally unique. And Trey is actually literally a genius.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you're right. The nuances in his scratches that he's leaving, the scratch track, is unbelievable. But also, it's like we're getting inside of his head.
Yeah.
It's really crazy. And the smallest little nuances. But also, it does create an interesting world where we're recording at sometimes at 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning.
3
That's
in the
totally
morning.
normal. Totally normal to have a 2 a.m. session because something changed in the script and it's going to air tomorrow. So it's like Tuesday night, don't turn your phone off because you're going to get a phone call. And you kind of know.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're still rewriting. Back in the day when we would go in, you could actually see them pacing back and forth in the writing
Yeah.
room because it's like a glass wall. But now you just have to wait for your phone to
Yeah.
ring.
There is no sleep on Tuesday nights.
Hi, so this one's going to go for Kimberly, since we all love Classy. Have you ever heard any rumors from Trey or Matt that she could potentially return from any of the series?
Well, when I first recorded it, I remember it was a character that Trey had never written a character like this, and I had never voiced anything like that, and they were cracking up. They loved it. So I remember after coming out of the booth, this was the first time we recorded it, he was like, "I'm going to write Classy in some more shows," like that. That's what he said to me, and I was like, yes. But I haven't seen him. So maybe I gotta just start walking around talking like Classy or something. So just a little refresher.
Or maybe he's just waiting for the perfect opportunity for her to come back.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Maybe there could be a Classy spinoff. I don't know. I mean, just there's opportunities. We'll have to explore.
A good
always
idea.
thinking. Thank you.
The Women of South Park. There's the series.
Yes. Yes. There's so many of us.
Thank you. All right. I paid him a lot of money.
I'm going to ask a really weird question. What would you do to sell South Park to someone who's never seen a single episode of it and knows nothing?
I would say, do you like skewering hypocrisy? Are you tired of all the hypocrisy? Have I got a show for you?
It doesn't discriminate. It basically makes fun of everybody and everything. And
No
in a
one's
very
safe.
clever way.
Yeah.
And they usually don't stick to anything too long. I mean, I learned about 6-7 from South Park. Okay? And when I was recording that episode, I was like, what is this? It's like, don't bother. Don't
Bother.
don't
I remember
bother
asking
learning
my
it.
daughter, I was like, what is it? She's like, I just don't.
But I think it's just it's a satire. I mean, it's just clever. We need humor. We need to laugh at things. This world is absurd. And this final 2 seasons, they didn't even have to write anything. They're just reflecting what's really going on. Like, literally. I mean, except for the Satan part. But other than that,
Oh, I don't know.
I'm just,
Maybe there's a world we're not aware
actually,
of.
there still needs to be some investigation on that. But generally speaking, if we can laugh through what we're going through, that's like, for me, that saves my life. Comedy literally
Yeah.
saves my life. So that's what it is.
And I would just like to say, if you walk the way you talk, you got no worries.
Yeah.
Why would you be offended?
It's true. It's so true. Very, very true. Good question. Watch the show. Watch it.
Hi. Question for all three of you. Do you have a favorite song from South Park? Because there's a lot of memorable songs from that show. Maybe not ones that you've sang, but...
There's a lot of funny.
Okay, so before I actually was working on the show, I didn't do the movie. I wasn't there for the movie.
Right.
And my dad passed away in 2000, but I took him to see the movie. He was in his 70s, so I thought, I don't know what this is going to be. And he walked out of the theater going, "Shut your fucking face, Uncle Fucker." And so that has to be my favorite because it was my dad's favorite, and I didn't expect a 70-year-old man to love that song so much. So it has good memories for me.
That is so fantastic. I would say there's so many. It's just so many. But let's just move over to Book of Mormon. Who's seen Book of Mormon?
Oh, yeah.
There's some great music in that. But I think in general, what's awesome is that they're musicians, and all the people that work on the show, and they create all this music, and it's all original, and and the way they spoof stuff, it's just, they're brilliant. They took us for what was the episode when we went to Red Rock? What season?
Well, it was. I think we were celebrating season 25, and
Yeah.
and they took us all to Colorado to Red Rocks.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was really
Yeah.
cool.
Oh,
And
my God.
and they did a concert at Red Rocks. I don't know if Red Rock or whatever it is.
Red Rocks.
If you've been
Yeah.
there, it is amazing outdoor venue, obviously. But they performed with Primus, and it was Matt's birthday, and he got to be the drummer and everything. It was just really magical. It's so great how much they incorporate music
And
into
Bruce
the show.
got to play the guitar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Bruce
Rush
is
was
our-
there. They
Rush-
surprised
Yeah.
Matt with Rush. Too.
Rush was
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
It was amazing. What's your favorite song, Mona?
Oh, I don't know. When in doubt, blame Canada.
Yeah.
Classic.
Thank you.
Thank you. So classic.
Oh, I think we have time for one more question.
Hi. So all three of you are just incredible dub actors outside of South Park, and I had to shout out to Izzy for Mona.
Whoa, thanks. Prodigious, babe.
Yeah, your natural voice, it just leans Izzy, and it's incredible. But my question is regarding that is, anime is known for just being very scaled back and limited in approach. There's just a whole lot of just control with the direction. So how does your approach change with the voice direction with South Park? And I can imagine it's like suddenly you're going from like a huge amount of tight direction to like just go nuts with everything.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, you want to? I'll tell you, it's very interesting because when you're doing anime, right, you're adding to a picture that's already there. Most of the time with South Park, you are creating that picture. That's why we've been talking about how Trey going from the writing and translating through those rough tracks or scratch tracks. We call them scratch, but believe me, he's present when he's doing it. So the difference is you're looking at a picture, right? And you're seeing what's on that picture and you're matching sync, which for a lot of people, believe it or not, is difficult. With Trey, for me anyway, and I would imagine it's probably the same for my two friends over here, you are visualizing that character based on what you are hearing. And that is a leap beyond. When you're doing regular original animation, you're usually looking at a script and it's all in here. That extra element of being able to take that subtlety and then visualize your character, which you have basically made your own over how many years you've been doing it, that's an added something. And I don't know how to explain it. I just know that it comes together and it works. And at least I can say that as the years have passed and I've been doing these characters more, it's really quite amazing. It's amazing as an actor to me. So hope that answers your question.
Yeah, there's a rhythm to South Park that is unmistakable. And when I first got the job, it took me a little bit to get the rhythm. And thank goodness Trey was was recording the tracks so that I was able to start learning it through him. But there is a definite rhythm to South Park. So when we're doing it, obviously you're going nuts. Like sometimes some of the scripts you think like, oh my, I got to tell my mom not to watch. And I was actually pregnant with my daughter when I was doing one of the craziest episodes, and I remember thinking, oh my God, I'm traumatizing my unborn baby. So you're going nuts, but you're also really hooked into this rhythm that after a while becomes second nature. So yeah.
I think just as a voice actor, it's like a dream job, because if you're open and you're not offended by things, and it's like every time I get the script, which is moments before I step into the voiceover booth, no prep time. I had boycotted all politics, so I had no idea who Pam Bondi even was when they called me and said, you have to do Pam Bondi. I'm looking at my phone like, who's this? And then I saw some videos. I was like, oh shit. Okay, we got to get this down. But I think it's just really fun because there's not a lot of pressure, because they're not expecting exact sound alikes of anybody we're spoofing ever. Like I did Reese Witherspoon not that long ago, and she was throwing up. And so it's like, how do I sound like Reese Witherspoon while she's vomiting? But it doesn't really matter, because they're doing the work with the writing and the way they do it. So if you're just open and you're ready to have fun on this show, I think the approach that they do is actually ideal. I wish more animated shows work like this. It's really fun. So that's it.
Stay open for the ride.
Yep, let's go ahead and give these wonderful people a round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Keep watching the show.
Yeah, if you have any more questions for them, you can go see them at their tables.
We're right over there on the other side of that wall.
Yep.
Come over and say hi.
Yeah.
And thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Good job. What's your name? Aramis.
Aramis. What a great name. Awesome name. Aramis.